This is Kim Jong Un Palace of the Sun, a mausoleum in Pyongyang, North Korea. No prizes for guessing who it's dedicated to. Head inside and you'll find two former leaders of the People's Republic resting in glass coffins for everyone to see. It might seem like a strange gimmick, but the meaning, and more importantly, the cost of these embalmings run far deeper than you expect. Let me tell you a story about the absurd costs the North Korean people have to pay to keep these two mummies fresh. Embalming is probably one of the oldest practices in all the human history. There's something about the idea of our bodies decaying and crumbling to dust that just doesn't sit right with us. It's almost like if a person's body goes, we lose a part of that person, even if they're already long gone. So far for millennia, we've been honing our skills to slow down that process as much as possible. The ancient Egyptians are the most famous for the mummies, but you can find them all over the world. Denmark, Japan, Peru. Pretty much every ancient civilization you can think of did it in some way. And we've got good at it. Qin Shui's body, a Chinese noblewoman who was embalmed well over 2,000 years ago, still has her hair and all her skin. Though, of course, we can only do so much to stop the sands of time from falling. But here's the thing, embalming isn't cheap. There's a good reason why you find ancient pharaohs entombed beneath the Great Pyramids of Giza, and not, say, their gardeners. Mummification is a process that requires a lot of time, skill, and resources. Only those a society deems worthy of the honor are preserved. This is to say the rich and powerful. The rest of us have to cross our fingers and hope that we get lodged into a glacier or something. Fast forward to the modern day, and this innate human desire to preserve the dead hasn't gone away. Mummies are found in museums, and a lot of people find them a little bullish, if anything else. But this isn't the case everywhere in the world. For a lot of countries, mummies serve an incredible important purpose, and North Korea is far from the only culture that uses them to its advantage. Our embalming techniques have come a long way since ancient Egyptians, but the process hasn't got any cheaper. Keeping Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong Il's bodies in such a state, as well as all the pomp and fanfare that surrounds the memorials, costs a staggering $500,000 per year. That's coming out of the North Korean taxpayers' pockets. By the way, a people who aren't known for having tons of disposable income. The Workers' Party of Korea, the party in charge of the country, might hold the two former leaders in high esteem, but nobody in their right mind would fork out over $500,000 every year just for the sake of it. For such a hefty sum, the North Korean government must be getting something in return. But what? What could two dressed up corpses offer that could be worth that price? To answer that, let's jump back a bit and head out west, all the way to Moscow. It's 1924, the Russian Empire has fallen, the Imperial Tsar has been ousted, and the Communist Soviet Union has taken its place, with the revolutionary leader Vladimir Lenin at his helm. Well, that is until he dies 3 weeks into the year. Lenin is more than just a leader for Russians. The Bolsheviks considered his ideas, and by the extension his very being, the core of the People's Revolution, since the idea of a proletarian revolution is the very basis of the USSR's legitimacy as a state. The preservation of the Lenin's essence is paramount. If the idea of the Lenin fades, so too does the ideology that keeps the system in place. Burying him might cement the notion of this revolution period coming to an end. There's a reason English saying dead and buried is used to mark something as being finished, over, history. That's when Lenin's successors come up with the brilliant idea. What better way of preserving the image of Lenin than literally preserving Lenin himself and showing him off for a whole world to see? So that's what they do, and hundreds or thousands flock to Moscow to see that while Lenin the individual might be gone, Lenin the symbol is still very much alive and well, so to speak. This is the core idea behind embalming. As long as the person as we physically know them is still present, a crucial part of them remains. When a huge part of your state's sovereignty revolves around that crucial element, suddenly the cost of embalming doesn't seem so steep. The Russians still consider Lenin to be a positive, important figure in their history. That's why you can still head to Moscow and visit Lenin's mausoleum, where his body is still, to this day, on display. Stalin rested beside him for a while, for a similar reason. But the Soviets decided at one point that maybe he wasn't so great and moved his body aside. This practice caught up across the communist world. In China, Mao is considered a pivotal figure in their revolutionary history, the man who fought back the forces of imperialism and launched China into a new age. His body, preserved in a glass coffin just like the others, rested in Chairman Mao's Memorial Hall at the center of Tiananmen Square in Beijing. Communist Bulgaria did the same with the leader, Georgy Dimitrov, as did Communist Czechia with Klement Gottwald. For a long while, it became the norm in the communist bloc rather than exception. Considering all that, you can see why a country like North Korea, so obsessed with its image, would see the value in embalming its leaders. But for everything I've said about Mao, Lenin, or Dimitrov, it applies tenfold to the two Kims. In true North Korean fashion, they've upped the ante to a ridiculous degree. The preservation of the leaders isn't just a useful tool, it's a necessary one. The USSR considered Lenin the father of the revolution. The Chinese considered Mao the man who catapulted China to be the second most powerful country on the planet. But at the end of the day, they were still mere mortals like the rest of us. According to North Koreans, the two Kims were a level above. Officially, Kim Il-sung is still a leader of North Korea, even in death. The state named him internal leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and his son, Kim Jong Un, as its internal secretary. You can't get closer to being named a literal god in the modern age than that. The Kim family took the concept of cult personality, founded by the likes of Mao and Stalin, and turned it all the way up to 11. Great bronze statues of the two former leaders are found everywhere, rising above mere mortals like they are divine guardians of the country. When a leader does die, the people wail and cry in a grand public displays of mourning that are, of course, 100% genuine. The tales they tell about the Kim family border on absurd. Kim Jong Un, the current leader of the People's Republic, supposedly doesn't go to the bathroom. He learned to drive at the age of 3. His father, Kim Jong-il, was born atop a sacred mountain, after which a new star rose into the sky in the cold winter months, thrown away to give way to spring. Ignore the official records that show he was actually born out in Siberia. These myths all sound ludicrous to us, but they are crucial to maintaining the godlike image of the Kim family. Just how Lenin's idea kept the whole USSR afloat, the divine nature of the Kims keeps the North Korea legitimate. Now, imagine for a second that you are a North Korean citizen. You've been told your entire life that internal leader Kim Il-sung was a god, a divine being of incredible power, who lifted the whole entire country by himself. You go to pay your respects to this great more than a man in Pyongyang, and all you find is a normal grave, no different than any other. You realize you're looking down at it, that internal leader's body has no doubt withered away, leaving nothing but rot and bones. What kind of god leaves a legacy like that? You look to the others around you and you'll see that you all come to the same realization. Kim Il-sung wasn't a god, he was just some guy. They lied to you, and if they lied about that, what else they have been lying about? This is a nightmare scenario for North Korean government, one it has to avoid at all costs. Even when Kim Il-sung was alive, propaganda photos made sure to never show the huge growth on the back of his neck. Can't go around making it seem like the internal leader has any imperfections. Seeing a pile of rotting bones might send people into a frenzy. So the government embalmed the two Kims and made sure that their resting place is as grand and respectful as it possibly can be. Visitors are ordered to stay silent and dress respectfully as they queue to see them. And the whole process has an overwhelming religious feel to it, because this whole charade is a keystone to keep this image intact. If that keystone comes loose and the whole image falls, the whole North Korea state falls down like a stack of cards. With all that in mind, $500,000 a year in debt to keep up this lie seems like a good deal, right? For those in charge, it keeps the whole state from collapsing. For the common people who actually pay for it all, it's more than worthy sacrifice to honor two eternal leaders. But sooner or later, the truth behind every lie is uncovered. A lie is no more than a debt to the truth. And one day, that debt is paid. By now, the Kim family has racked up one hell of the debt, and paying it back may cost them everything.